Hi, I'm Carcino.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Carcino and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them.
Woo, man.
Hustlers, anybody's getting in this game.
Police say Young Dolph was inside Makita's around 12:30 in the afternoon Wednesday when he was gunned down.
Tonight, we strongly encourage everyone to stay home if you do not have to be out.
The rapper Young Dolph is gunned down at a South Memphis cookie shop.
There will be extra police presence in many parts of the city.
And that the person killed is Anthony Mims, also known as Big Jook. Now, Big Jook is the brother of rapper Yo Gotti.
An orange mound Wednesday at Spotswood and Bunton. Those who live nearby tell us Taylor was actually shot the night before, discovered lifeless.
They've literally been in Memphis for 3 straight years since Young Dolph died. I've never seen something like this.
It seems like the streets aren't playing around when it comes to avenging Young Dolph. Ever since he got taken out by his rivals,
And it's been like that ever since. And now that the trial then took place and commenced, everyone in Memphis is now looking at this and from a whole different perspective, because Dolph's life shouldn't have been taken. And by him being a larger than life figure and being told on by his mans, you see that this has turned into a whole type of show it didn't need to be. He was coming to give away some turkeys to the neighborhood for the holidays, and it turned into a nightmare. Now, it was discovered that Big Jook, who's also deceased, was the one that placed the hit or whatever, the way they had from the messages and the investigation and how it came out in the trial. But also, one of the people who was one of the alleged, well, he's not alleged, he's convicted shooter and killer, testified that CMG or CMF, the record label of Yo Gotti, was responsible for the hit. Well, not responsible for the hit, I apologize. Paid for his lawyer fees, paid for all the lawyer fees that he had. So the $50,000 that he was supposed to get went towards his lawyers. And that's who paid for the lawyers, which would open up CMF to a definite investigation into the company, and even more bigger investigation into the head of the company, which is Yo Gotti. This involves the whole label now. So other artists who ain't had nothing to do with it, they're not going to look at them and look at them very strangely. Now, they had surveillance footage throughout the entire process as Straight Drop, who was once on the side of him, on the side of Dolph, wanted to boost his rap career and was going to use the money to do such. None of them thought about the repercussions of what was going to happen from this whole situation. And after this, they were captured. You see it one of the guys folded and decided to testify against the other. Now, when you start going through these alleged crimes, situations where it gets beyond itself. Since this verdict was given out last week? The end of last week. No one has seen Yo Gotti. No one knows his whereabouts. He couldn't even respond to even like any of his artists at CMG, like Glorilla and the rest of them. They were trying to get in contact with Gotti, and it was to no avail. Obviously, this is a lot of heat. This is an extreme amount of heat for Roc Nation, who manages Yo Gotti. Jay-Z brought Yo Gotti to a lot of the connections they had. He told Yo Gotti to enroll in college and take management classes and finish up his degrees in college because he has such a great business acumen. And Yo Gotti's like, man, I got to thank Jay-Z for turning CMF or CMG into a legitimized business. Turning them to a business that's worth $100 million. Oh, Gotti ain't chilling. Because now this could open up a whole new investigation into the involvement of CMG Records. Well, they put themselves in this position. They was on a crash out mission. And Yo Gotti he's been MIA. And everybody thinks Jay-Z's been hiding him out because Jay's been MIA. No, Jay-Z's not involved with what happened with Dolph, but this situation, if you're somebody who's partnered with Dolph, this is not going to look well on you. And Jay is, one of the people that's advising and mentoring Yo Gotti. He's at them Roc Nation brunches. Now, if you're an investor that done business with Yo Gotti, and Jay-Z's the one that brought you Yo Gotti around you, this could affect all businesses that you have brought up and brought into play over Dolph. This affects everything. Oh yeah, man, everybody was going. This guy was making fun of people dying. They took him out, took his life. A lot of people lost their lives behind this. A lot of people that's still involved in this. The beef is still continuing. It's a lot of people who are not actively cool with the other side. And there's a lot of tension behind all this. And it still remains unresolved, even after the case. And people have been doing all these perks and all these, see, there it is, CMG. All of these different jobs. And his life was taken, cheesy. Everybody's out here losing, buddy. They're not winning, they're losing. This is a scenario that you're going to be faced with a lot in these streets. And he came out and spoke about what was going on out there in Memphis. Oh yeah, Desto, she's gone. It's a lot of people behind this thing, man. It's a lot of people who died. And people don't even know why or what rhyme or reason, but Dolph's death set off a chain reaction to a lot of people going down. I have to go back and look at that video because I don't even remember it. Oh, you think she's helping out? That could be the case. Yeah, Black youngster's brother died, you know, and now youngster and Gotti both can't really go back to Memphis. I mean, they can, but at a very high risk. I was seeing Memphis rappers kill each other the most, like 7 years ago. Yeah. I mean, it happens in Chicago too, but not like Memphis. And definitely not like now. Like the bodies in Memphis are dropping like crazy. And it seemed to be stirred up behind this whole beef. Well, they're gonna blame Big Jook, you know, for all of it. And try to hope it all get buried with Big Jook. And he was just at a funeral, you know, their uncle. And shortly after that, life was taken in the car with his mom leaving the funeral or a repast party. Gotti was at that funeral also. Well, you hear a lot of rumors behind that. You hear that the new rumor is Gotti had his brother taken out just so they can cover up the whole hit and everything else, because his brother might have flipped. So he had his own brother taken out in front of the mama. I'm just like, I don't believe all that. That's internet talk. Because in the real world, the internet is 90% wrong. When this thing first happened, they was blaming somebody at Makeda's. They was blaming everybody. Kareem Smith said, we'll say anything for clicks. You think it's ironic that Gotti is missing right now? Now, with CMG being mentioned in a federal investigation into a murder of another rapper, and CMG is paying for someone who's not a rap artist for a lawyer for their trial, you know they own a majority stake, well, not majority, but a minority stake in the MLS team, DC United, right? They own a restaurant that's Priv in Memphis. So you tell me, would you want to invest with Yo Gotti after all this has happened? You comfortable investing in Gotti, right? You comfortable investing in Young Gotti. Like this, all of this isn't connected to him in no kind of way. His brother just made a decision on his own to do this. And your record label is dumb enough to pay for the lawyer for one of the shooters. Now, if they have proof of that, then you know, that'll be something different. Dolph ain't never did none of these dudes. They got him hit in LA. He got hit in the butt with a bullet. His truck was shot at 50 times or 100 shots at the truck. It was bulletproof, so they couldn't get him. Whoever tried to take him out then, he did the song with 100 shots. There was just a lot of people trying to get him at this time. And it was sad because they don't realize that whole action and that play they did is going to rock the whole nation. And it did. And it definitely rocked Memphis.
A lot of people in the streets got real active fast. Now, what do you think the soccer team in DC is going to think? You think they're going to want to be in business with Yo Gotti after that? Would you be in business with him after this trial just happened and the way this went down? They saying your brother, they got their evidence. They just convicted the 2 killers. And you were dumb enough to pay 50 grand for these dudes' lawyers, allegedly, your label, and you did it through your label. Now the lawyer who's defending him might be asked by the federal government, were you paid by them for this case? Why would he do that? Who is this guy to them? He's not one of their artists. So why would they want to fit the bill for the killers? Well, Gotti put himself in a position where he put himself in a position now where he don't have to rap. He invested into the soccer club, DC United. So he got a small percentage in that. Well, he collects timepieces. So he wants to build his collection of timepieces. Well, he wants to be looked at as a legitimate businessman and not the criminal that calls shots. But he's a very sensitive man, as he went after this guy in a way I thought he shouldn't have. And that led to more diss records coming out that didn't need to be. And I think he was hating it because Dolph decided not to sign with him and was one of the people that was very adamant about not signing to him. And he had a lot of success without him. And Gotti, in my opinion, felt like it's only through me you're gonna have success in Memphis. I gotta get a piece of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's how it is now. Well, Jay-Z helped that out. He helped Yo Gotti become rich. He told Yo Gotti, go back to college. That's where you need to be. Go back to college and everything else will take care of itself. You said independent artists never make our money. I know. It's a little bit more difficult than different than that. Hit the like button too, good people. We appreciate your love and support. Hit the like button up. I know y'all just got here and didn't see all the stuff materialize. Definitely take the time to hit the like button up. Mm-hmm. Yes, appreciate that. We appreciate you guys. What's up, Madeline? No. Jay-Z only cares about business and bottom lines, and he's gonna use Gotti to bring in all this talent so he can eat off of Gotti. But he's gotten Gotti all these deals that he put in place. He's going into the real estate portfolio, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just these silly feuds. It's like you barely rap, dog. You should just be promoting this part of it. Now you gonna try to tell the whole world like this ain't about me. My brother was a lone wolf. He decided to do this on his own. He didn't confer with me. You the money getter out of the family. Your brother was broke. Dolph actually brought up the fact that he was helping out with your younger brother. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, you think about it. Gotti had that one album that was hot. His mixtapes wasn't that hot after that. When he had The Law, when he came out with that album, he had that. Yo Gotti was popping. And then after that, his mixtapes was so-so. And Dolph mixtapes was crushing him. And Dolph was just, he's the rapper. He said CM7, everything else was trash. Well, that was the thing. Gotti just stopped, having the interest in himself putting out music. Gotti didn't need to put out music. He was eating off all the other artists because their contracts ain't looking good. So if your contract ain't looking good, it's not going to be looking good for you. In other words, it's not going to be looking good for you. But Gotti has not been seen anywhere. He ain't been on social media. He's not been seen anywhere. He's trying to keep those business relationships
alive, and he wants to try to wait till this whole thing blows over. That's his guy. Jay-Z signed him to about 4 years ago. Jay-Z did a deal with Yo Gotti. And the deal was to free all of these prisoners that they had. Right? They had all these prisoners that they wanted to free and get, under the thumb of the federal government and everybody else involved. They wanted to free them. No, but the big key point here is when that guy on the witness stand said CMG paid for my lawyer. 50 G's went to my lawyer. That was owed to me for the hit. It went to my lawyer. Why would CMG be paying money to a person who did something so egregious, who's not their artist? He's not signed to the label. So why are you paying $50,000 for his lawyer? That right there could trigger a whole investigation into CMG. And the lawyer would have to explain how he's getting paid and why is he getting paid. And they would have to pretty much explain why is this happening. Now, 4 years ago, Jay-Z and Yo Gotti filed federal lawsuits in Mississippi prisons. Like it was an outbreak of deadly violence in these prisons. And they wanted to sign a petition together, Jay-Z and Yo Gotti. And they was like 29 Memphis prisoners who was accusing the state correctional facility of doing a little stop, all these outbreaks of violence that last for a while and, leave inmates dead over a 2-week span. There was a lot of people gone, 5 inmates gone. So, Mississippi has failed its fund in prisons, resulting in the prisons where the violence reigns, rampant because the prisons are understaffed. In the past 2 weeks, 5 men that were incarcerated died as the result of prison violence. And it's in pretty much the Mississippi's utter disregard for the people, they said. Now, the commissioner for the Department of Corrections, Felicia Hall, and the Mississippi State Penitentiary Superintendent said amongst the deficients that the players' lives are in peril. The deaths are a direct result of the Mississippi's utter disregard for the people and have incarcerated in their constitutional rights. Now, everybody knows that when it comes to the conditions, what's going on, Jay-Z and Yo Gotti was trying to do this prison reform bill, and Jay-Z is using active rappers at the time like Meek Mill and Yo Gotti to pull off his agendas. Now, they wrote an open letter to the governor, who was Phil Bryant, saying that they were considered suing over inhumane conditions within state-operated prisons. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's happening too close to home. So when this stuff start happening too close to home, people are gonna feel a certain way about it. So you're gonna want to naturally make sure you're doing everything right when it comes to business and everything else that's personified. Now, if you Jay-Z, you're gonna be trying to use Gotti to get everything you want. That's what Jay does. He's not elevating you because he feels like you're a good man. Mm-hmm. So, right, I wasn't gonna make this super long, man. I just wanted to let people know what was going on, informing them, and the fact that Jay-Z, if you hiding them or telling them how to hide, it's not a good look for you. So I'm out. Shout out to Kwame Brown, Bust Life, Ticket TV, Dreamers Pro, Armando Black TV, and that's about it. My Casino for Life Patreon. We might go a little deeper into this, but thank y'all for y'all time. God bless you.